Hey guys, Mr. Nichols here with a brief tutorial on how to use the program Polly through Google to explore this 3D environment and learn more about viral transmission, or how viruses reproduce inside of the body. Now, what's really cool about Polly is it helps you kind of explore this little 3D space to hopefully get you to connect a little bit more to this topic rather than if you were to just read an article on it. Now, I do want to give you a little bit of a tutorial for how to use this and kind of some recommendations to help you be most successful. So basically, there's going to be a series of questions that you need to answer from this section on the viral reproduction document. Now, as I will mention here, I would strongly recommend that you open up this link on a secondary device, away from where you're looking at your questions. So that could be a smartphone, or that could be a tablet, or if you have a secondary computer, that would be ideal. If you don't have that, it's totally fine. You can just click back and forth, but it is going to be a little bit more cumbersome. I would also recommend as well that we use the kind of virtual reality feature if you open this up on a smartphone. So you can kind of look around and point the camera around the room, and it makes it a little bit more fluid rather than just clicking and dragging. But as I mentioned, if you don't have that, it's totally fine. You can just kind of click back and forth between the Polly simulation and then the question document. So firstly, as I would mention, this is basically a 3D space that you can navigate. Now, if you're doing this on a Chromebook, as you can see here, I can click and drag. So when the hand is closed, that's when I'm clicking, and you can drag to different parts of this little environment here. So this first section here is looking at how big a virus is. So when we're looking at some of these objects in here, we can see that we have a normal animal cell right here. So we can see the nucleus in the middle and some of the other cellular structures that are around inside. We can see a grain of salt, which is far bigger than the animal cell. And then if we look down here to the left, we have a bacterial cell right here. And then way off to the left down here, we have a viral particle. Now notice, just looking at these four objects here, you can really get a sense for how big a viral particle is. They are extremely small. So a couple other things for how to navigate this. So as I mentioned, I would strongly recommend making this full screen. Now this will be easy if it's on your second device. You're just going to click this little icon in the corner here. Okay, so now we're at full screen. So now we can see a little bit easier here. So you can either navigate around in the space and click on these little icons right here. So I'm going to click on the first one right here, and it's going to give you a little bit of information. So basically, all of the questions will be answered using the information that's in these sections right here. Now, they're not very long, and some of them are pretty short, and there are some sections you can kind of gloss over, so make sure you look to the question document to kind of help guide you with that. So if you're kind of concerned about navigating that, what you can also do, I'm going to refresh the page here. So what you can also do instead is you can also just click on this little icon in the bottom left corner. Okay, so this, you can go through and kind of read through the introduction, and then you can click through the first section, and it'll automatically navigate you to that area. So let me maximize this here. So if I go ahead and read through that for table salt, and then animal cell, bacterial cell, and then viral particle here. So that's kind of how you move through. Now, when you're done answering the questions on the first scene, you'll go ahead and click the next arrow right here. And that's going to take you to the second environment here. So you'll do the same thing. You can either navigate around and click on each of the icons, or you can just go through and navigate through it in the bottom left corner here. So there is really, for this one, we're not diving into the biodiversity too much here. There's just one big key question we need to answer for that section. Okay. All right. So you'll go through and progress through all of this here until you get to the end. So you'll follow through, answer the questions, and then there's this little end section here. Okay. So a couple other pointers real quick. So if you click on this little icon in the upper left corner, the upper right corner, so you can actually only access the settings if you're on your Chromebook if it's in the not full screen mode right there. So if you go ahead and click this, you can toggle on and off the ambient audio, which I don't think that this one has any. I think it might have some in the mobile version. So if you hear some talking that you can't quite get to stop, go ahead and turn off the ambient audio. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it off here. But what you also have access to is some narration. So if you go ahead and click on this little icon right here, it will read through the text of whatever section is open there. So you're welcome to leave that on or off, whichever you'd like there. Okay, so I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask your teacher, and I'm sure they'd be able to help you out. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. Good luck, and enjoy exploring the reproduction of viruses. So take care, guys. Have a great day.